Alright, so I guess this can be the start of the fucking documentary. It's 9 a.m. Eugene, Oregon, Monday morning. I am fucking toasted as a goddamn cucumber. And trying to get back on the road right now to Seattle. Drove fucking all night, left at 9, pulled over at around 5 a.m. and am on my way to go get my dad's ashes. But thought I was gonna make it all night. Actually made it a lot farther than I expected to. But then fucking got my felt my fuck there. I bet I can go good. So yeah, I left last night 9 p.m. knowing that I had very, very little buffer in order to make it to Seattle by 4 o'clock today. It's currently 5 till 10, and according to my estimates, I'm 3.5 hours away, which really doesn't leave me that much time. But I'm going to get my old man's ashes and beads along with some other miscellaneous items that I've had in Seattle for, I missed 7 years in storage at a buddy of mine's place. And the reason it's so critically important for me to do this now is because of the fact that I'm getting married in 3 weeks from actually tomorrow. Fuck. Yesterday at this time, in fact, yesterday at this time I was sitting with the officiant talking about the details and how we're going to do our vows and all this other bullshit. And so, coming into Seattle, I lived up here for, years. This is genuinely where I thought that I was going to end up spending my life. Obviously, things did not turn out that way. It's going to be real interesting to see how much I've got to correct on this thing, but last night there was no traffic, now there is traffic, and it's kind of weird though, because last night not having any traffic, I could have been speeding, but I was all paranoid as fuck about getting pulled over. Now I'm like, oh fuck, I'm doing 70, it's like 65 speed. But yeah, I don't know, last night maybe not being able to film was a good thing. Gave me a chance to reflect on this shit. And that's what the next 2 days are. I'm gonna go get this stuff today. Hopefully there's not gonna be any more hiccups. There probably will be, just because, fuck, let's face it, it's me. But, hopefully I can just get my fucking dad's prayer beads and ashes and be able to make peace with Seattle. I had a lot of good years up there. I had a lot of really good times up there, and it ended really, really badly. And it's kind of weird though, because it's easy for me to remember how bad it ended and then had this bitter taste in my mouth, and then, planning on coming up here and thinking, okay, I'm only going to go to Pikes Market and Alki Beach, and then thinking about, well, what about 85th Street? What about this? And it's like, so it's going to be real interesting to see where all I end up going today on this fucking weird acid trip down memory lane. But right now, the biggest thing is getting there on time at 4 o'clock. Once I get my stuff back, then I can kind of figure out the rest of it. And the game plan is that I'm gonna get my stuff, and then I planned on going back to the coast and taking, given today's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday to take Highway 1 south back to California. But this is the first time that I've had a break and actually had any time alone to myself in fucking months. And as exhausted as I am right now, I mean, I tell you, I feel fucking great being able to just drive and be in the open air, got my coffee, got a pack of smokes, got a fucking vape pen, got a bunch of joints. Unfortunately, they're all indica, so I'm like, I probably don't want to be smoking a fucking giant hooter indica while I'm trying to drive. This is one of those things where I really wish that I had more time, but I'm actually getting more time than I thought, because originally I didn't even have Wednesday off. So it was going to be halfway Monday night, halfway Monday, hang out Monday night, and then just grudge fuck it and do the 12 hours down the interstate. And I'm going to tell you right now, I fucking hate the interstate. I absolutely fucking hate taking the interstate. But it's the quick, quote-unquote, direct route, and it's just boring as fuck. It's the same gas stations, it's the same bullshit. I mean, it is kind of nice though, like, in the middle of the fucking night, not even worried about it, because it's, if I've got to piss or if I've got to get gas or whatever, I know that within a few miles I'm going to see a giant fucking neon sign to let me know that there's another corporate entity coming up. And it's really kind of killed the American landscape in a lot of ways. Or it just, changed it. I mean, my idea of like Americana, these back roads, these mom and pop shops and shit like that. But at one point, the highway system was brand new, and it's just weird. I mean, I definitely talked about it a lot during actually on the way to Seattle last time. 6 years ago in April, I was filming a motorcycle documentary, and tried to stay on the back roads as much as possible, tried to avoid the interstates, and really see real America, because I didn't want to go to the same truck stops, the same fucking, bullshit chain places. And going on the highway system and all these places that got missed by the interstate, it really fucked me up, because there were so many little, like, mom and pop places, those 70, these cute little downtowns that you could tell, back in the 50s, these spots were fucking popping, man. I mean, the architecture is gorgeous, and you see these storefronts and shit like that, these old movie theaters, but they're all fucking abandoned. They're all boarded up, and there's a fucking Dollar General that replaces them all. So, I think the majority of this film, if it's done, is probably going to get done tomorrow and Wednesday on Highway 1. Maybe I'll have something fucking profound to say right now. I'm just trying to do everything I can to get the fucking to Seattle on time. Maybe get to Pike's Market, drive around a little bit, see some shit. I'm hoping so. I mean, I don't want to leave Seattle and hate it, because even as bad as shit did get, and it's kind of like, it is very much like a relationship, It's like, as badly as shit ended between me and Seattle, I have to accept the fact that a lot of it had to do with me, and that there was also a lot of really So I am about 45 minutes away from Seattle, still don't really have a game plan, so I'm just going to go to the coffee shop that I used to go when I first moved to Seattle. And I was just talking to my little brother about the whole situation, and really it feels like going to have to pick up some of my stuff from my ex-girlfriend. And I'm not even just talking about going to see my buddy that has had my stuff in storage for a while. It's, things ended really, really badly in Seattle 6.5 But I also, thinking about it as I've been coming up here, it's like I had some of the best times of my life while I was living in Seattle during my, late 20s, early 30s. And I can't deny that. And it's a beautiful city. Now, unfortunately, Amazon has completely gutted it, and the entire vibe has changed. And I know it's gotten worse. The last time I was here was 6 years ago, I think next month, and I was doing a motorcycle trip or whatever. So I know that things have actually, unfortunately, gotten worse. I followed a couple of Instagrams, Vanishing Seattle, things like that, and a lot of what made Seattle great isn't there. A lot of the small businesses have gotten destroyed. I worked at the Hurricane Cafe, which had been known as, I think, the Doghouse before, but it was an absolute Seattle institution, one of the busiest kitchens that I've ever worked at in my career. And they tore it down and put a parking lot on it. I mean, literally just like that Joni Mitchell song, Paint Paradise, put up a parking lot. So it's going to be weird. And like I said, about 45 minutes south of Seattle. I think I'm going through like Olympia or Tacoma or some shit right now. I still don't recognize anything yet. I'm hoping maybe I'll get to see Mount Rainier. We'll see. It hasn't hit me yet where I'm at, because it's just interstate. Nothing really that you don't see literally everywhere else. And yeah, the signs are saying, oh, Seattle, but it's not like actually just past Berkeley Street, ironically. You know what I mean? But I think once I actually see something that I recognize, then it's really going to hit me, and then it's going to be like, oh fuck, then the emotions are going to hit, things like that. Right now it's just also compounded by the fact that, I'm really fucking tired. I'm on like a 3-hour power nap because I pulled over at 5 a.m. By the time I got to sleep, I got woken up by alarms and left at 9, and it's now 12:45, and I've been driving legitimately non-stop. So yeah, it's gonna be a trip. All right, I'm here. I just pulled into the coffee shop that I used to go to all the time when I first moved here a little over 18 years ago. Thank God it's still here, but I mean, they're fucking legendary. And yeah, now it's fucking hit me that I'm in Seattle. I gotta take a piss and get a mocha. I'm on 3 hours of sleep. So, just got back to Seattle. Still don't know what the fuck is going on exactly when I'm gonna meet to get my dad's ashes and my other stuff. But, yeah, Uptown Espresso is still around on Del Ridge. And the reason I mention that is because that's literally the first coffee shop that I went to when I first moved out here to Seattle. And so the fact that the location is still there, just like I remembered, and I'm going down Del Ridge Avenue right now, and it's weird to be back, man. A lot of stuff here has changed, but more so, I mean, a lot of things with me have changed in the past, 6 years, 7 years since I lived out here, and so this is, bizarre as shit. It didn't hit me until I pulled up in the coffee shop, just because that hasn't changed. And, it's Monday at like 2 o'clock. This is what I would have been stopping by there to get a cup of coffee 18 years ago to go and work this shit job that I had up in fucking Kenmore. Commuting from West Seattle to Kenmore every day. Oh, that was not a fun trip, but yeah, I'm gonna make the loop through West Seattle and go down to Alki Beach and hopefully wait to hear back. So. In California, this is weird because I very distinctly remember riding my longboard through the area. I used to work at this really badass butcher shop that's here's this miner right here. I gotta take. God, that's painful as fuck to see because that was a really, really amazing little fucking restaurant. And yeah, but of course the fucking McDonald's is still open. Okay, the fucking weird coffee shop still is. I wonder if I can go in there and get a dime bag. And then there was a really, really awesome pirate themed bar that we used to go to all the time out here called. Fuck, I would remember if I had more than 3 hours of sleep. But we used to go there and, we were drinking heavy back then. I look back on it fondly, but I'm glad those days are also very, very much behind me and have been for a while. Alright, normally I hate these dual capture videos, but this is fucking surreal because the reason you're even watching this is because 18 years ago, sitting in this same little parking area on Alki Beach in West Seattle, my younger brother decided to suggest that I should write a cookbook. And that was it. Write a cookbook for guys like him that, were mechanics and welders and shit like that. Guys that did not give a shit about food, and write a cookbook that would capture their interest and inspire them to cook. Lure them in, bait them with tales of sex, drugs, and rock and roll, which I've got plenty of, and then switch it up and give them to cook. And it started literally right here. You can see this view, all of Seattle, right across the water, West Seattle Bridge, sort of over there. But yeah, it was literally, like I said, right about 18 years ago. I'd have been sitting down here. I was living over off of, I think, 21st, off of Delridge. And yeah, man, feeling a lot of feels right now. Feeling a whole lot of feels, and gotta go and see a bunch of other shit. I need to eat. It's like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I don't think I've eaten in almost 24 hours. I mean, literally, I've had God knows how much fucking coffee, a couple of Red Bulls. I need to get my shit and then figure out where the fuck I'm gonna stay for the night and then sleep for like 10 hours straight. Yeah. Anyways. Well, the hard part is done. I just got done meeting with my buddy. Obviously, got my dad's mermaids back. Really heightened state of emotions right now. Driving down the interstate, I've had 3 hours of fucking sleep. Just went to a couple of spots in Seattle and was heading north, and he called me since I'm already heading south again. I'm just going to go into Aberdeen, I think, tonight, and then start taking Highway 1 down. Yeah, I've traveled, obviously, quite extensively, and traveling by car, motorcycle, even by bus, train, planes, it's all relative. And I think one of the reasons why I'm able to handle this trip as well as I can is because I was talking to my brother about it. 6 hours in a car is the equivalent of like 1 hour on a motorcycle, whereas 1 hour in an airline or an airport is the equivalent of about 12 hours in a car, which is why, given the choice, I'd much rather rent a car and drive, even if it's where I have to literally come up, drive to Seattle, 12 hours, and then drive back. I would much rather do this and spend 2 days driving than I would spend 2 hours in a fucking airport. So, at the same time, I'm sure as shit glad that I'm not having to ride a motorcycle. It was kind of amusing. My buddy thought that I was riding my motorcycle up here to get my stuff, and I've got, a Foot Locker and some other stuff, and it's like, yeah, no, there's no way in fuck that I'm riding a motorcycle all the way to Seattle and trying to, strap that on the back with, cargo nets and shit, so, yeah. Don't get me wrong, I absolutely love and adore Mike with all my fucking heart. That dude is my brother. That dude has supported me for over 30 years in every project that I've ever done. But there is something to be said about solo travel. Same thing with my girl. I love her to death, but I enjoy solo travel. I enjoy driving in a car aimlessly. And this is essentially my bachelor party, like I said. And it's also one of the few times that I've actually been able to go somewhere brand new. I have never driven down this road before. And for me, that's kind of rare. As stupid as it sounds, it's like I've lived in so many different places. I got ties, I got fucking roots, I got fucking history with so many different places that it's hard for me to go to a new spot and be like, oh, this is brand new. I've never driven down the Oregon coast. This is something I've always wanted to do. And being able to do it solo with literally nobody up my ass saying, oh, I gotta pee, or let's eat here, or, whatever. It's like, no, this looks good in this moment. I'm gonna pull over. I have no constraint on my time. If for some reason I realize, oh shit, tomorrow I gotta jump back on the interstate for a couple hours, because I do have to have the car back by 5, and I'm also gonna stop by my place, drop off my stuff, get the car cleaned out. But today is at least gonna be fucking epic. If I gotta jump back on Highway 5 or I-5 tomorrow, fuck it, whatever.
Yeah, tell me this ain't absolutely fucking beautiful. I mean, look at this. Yeah, I'm wearing my dad's boots. Pacific Northwest at its finest, right here for you folks.
So, real quick pro tip, if you're like me, you like to travel a lot, but you either have a partner or you got kids, and they get upset every time you have to leave to go away for a couple of days. Pro tip, buy them a gift from wherever. I mean, not only is it just like the cool thing to do, but it also creates this thing where, oh, every time they go away, they come back and I get something cool. And it creates that kind of association in their mind. And that way, anytime I leave, I bring my girlfriend something awesome back. And yeah, she's super happy with me. And I get to go and travel. It's not like, oh, you got to go on the road again for a couple of days and da-da-da-da-da. It's not a negative thing. It's she's happy because she gets the house to herself for a couple of days. And I get to go do my thing, and she gets something cool from the road. So, love you guys. I'll tell you, one of the other great things about driving instead of dealing with a motorcycle is about an hour ago, not even, it was gorgeous or a little bit cold, Astoria. Now I'm in the middle of a complete torrential downpour. On a motorcycle, this would fucking suck. Here in a car, I'm able to adjust the heater. I got my music. It's peaceful for me driving through this. In fact, I'm gonna pull over and check this out because this looks fucking gorgeous. And it doesn't look like anybody else's here except for one little RV. Oh yeah, this is fucking paradise right here. Oh shit, I can't believe what I'm pulling into. I'll show you in a second. Okay, stupid little side pullover. I just pulled into a town called Wheeler, Oregon. Mike and I have I won't even call him a friend anymore, but yeah, long story short, his last name is Wheeler, so I had to pull over and take a picture of the sign that said entering Wheeler and send it to Mike because yeah, we're never gonna grow up. I fucking refuse to. One of the things that I've always made the point to do while traveling is taking back roads. Like right now, I'm going down 101, 1 south, or whatever it is. Pretty much the coastal highway here. It just comes through into Oregon a few minutes ago. But it goes back to my days of taking fucking Greyhound everywhere. And I mean, I have taken Greyhound cross country, no shit, at least 5 or 6 times, plus trips up and down the East Coast, Arkansas to Virginia, Yellowstone. I've logged at least 10,000 miles. And as crazy as that sounds, one of the advantages of taking the Greyhound, aside from, not driving, whatever, and aside from all the craziness you have to deal with, the cool thing is you got to see some of these random little small towns, and the Greyhound station maybe wasn't always in the best part, but you got to see stuff in America in these random little towns that you wouldn't get to see otherwise, because even though I'm just driving through these towns, at least I'm getting to see them on these back highways. I'm not just taking the interstate and just blasting right through them. Just realized that I am coming up on Tillamook, and apparently there's a jerky warehouse. Oh, fuck yes! quick little unexpected detour. I didn't realize it until I started seeing the signs, but yeah, I'm actually here at the Tillamook factory in Tillamook, Oregon, because this is what happens when I just start driving a car. Yeah, so it turns out that the Tillamook cheese factory is actually really, really cool. I popped in here randomly on this road trip. I didn't even realize until a few miles ago that I was going to be going by here, and I got some sharp like cheddar and a little Tillamook van and a 2-foot meat stick for the road. Fuck yes. And the factory itself is actually gorgeous. I've used these products for years and years and years. Then to be able to pop over, it's a big complex, and walk around, and nice little observation area. You get to see the whole process and the history. It's a really cool little museum if you happen to pass by. It's free, it's open to the public. You're going to end up spending money at the gift shop, but yeah, 10 out of 10. Go check this place out, man. This is fun, man. This is why I love doing these weird little road trips like this. Love you guys. Cook like you fuck. One of the things that I absolutely love about the Pacific Northwest is there is a ton of these little drive-through coffee kiosks. You don't even have to get out of your car and get a big old fat 24-ounce mocha. And yeah, I don't really see these anywhere else in the United States. There are a bunch of the bikini baristas and stuff like that too, like Chick-a-Latte or whatever. I don't typically go to one of those unless it's like accidental, because that's what it happens to be. But yeah, I love my coffee, love convenience, love supporting small businesses. Love you guys. Just celebrated 420. I'm still heading south down Highway 101. I assume I'm still in Oregon. I honestly have no fucking idea. I'm interested to see. I left this morning around 7:30-ish, I guess. And I've been driving literally nonstop all day. I stopped for 10, 20, maybe 30 minutes at most at the Tillamook factory. But aside from that, and getting gas and like getting coffee twice, I've been consistently driving more or less. I mean, a couple of random little like 2-minute photo shots and things like that. But yeah, I'm interested to see if I'm actually going to make it to the California border tonight after driving all day, more or less from sun up to sundown. It's gone from like rainy and shitty and torrential downpour to absolute like paradise. It's 50 degrees outside. I'm absolutely digging this drive, and gotta get philosophical for a minute, because I'm thinking, things work out the way that they're supposed to. I'm supposed to be getting married in 3 weeks from today, and so this is kind of like, my last hurrah at single. And it's not like I'm going to sleep with anybody else or anything like that. I mean, it's, I take this marriage thing really, really seriously, and I've already been putting her ahead of me for a while. And so it's not like, all of a sudden shit's going to change or anything like that, but I don't know, man. It's weighing on my mind. Am I doing the right thing? Am I doing this for the right reasons? et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And when it comes right down to it, I come down to the core idea of, first off, I don't really give a shit about the titles or the pomp and the ritual and the dogma, the paperwork, any of that. I've already made the commitment to her. She's who I want to spend the rest of my life with. And even when I, proposed, it was like, she had been going on a tirade about how she never wanted to get married, and it was literally like 4 or 5 days after I had asked her dad if it was cool. I went old school and did it. And she could tell something was wrong, and so finally, she kept on pushing. I'm like, we'll talk about it later. She's like, no, I know something's going on. What's going on? And I finally looked at her and said, okay, listen, I don't give a shit about any of this stuff. I love you. I want to spend the rest of my life with you. I can't imagine having a life without you. I don't care about any of the other stuff, the paperwork, whatever. Oh, and by the way, I already asked your old man. He's cool with it. And she, to say the very least, was completely fucking stunned. She did not see it coming at all. And she looked at me and said, well, I've got to go to therapy and then we'll talk. So, thank God she had a therapy session right after I inadvertently proposed her. I didn't have a ring or anything. I mean, I was looking at stuff and I had made the decision. I wanted to make sure, obviously, that it was, cool with her old man. So I wanted to make sure that, this was done the right way. And I didn't even want to get married even. I mean, that's the whole thing. I remember sitting in Hawaii, and I mean, first of all, you gotta realize, Hawaii is fucking sacred. It's not like I, just bring chicks out there like I do my favorite restaurant. It's not Judy Foo's. God knows how many girls Dave saw me bring through that place over the years. Anyways, I felt confident enough in this situation that, I wanted to, show her something that was very special to me, and I took her to Hawaii, and sitting outside the fucking hotel one night, and I remember thinking, you're gonna marry this chick, and I'm like, nah, fuck that. I got a good thing going. There's no need to ruin it getting married or any of that. And I was like, nah, you're gonna marry this chick, and I'm like, no, I'm not doing that shit. No, there's no fucking need. Everything's good. And it's like, no, dude, you're gonna do this. And this was back in September. I didn't even pop the question until November. I mean, I talked to, my brothers who she's met a couple of times, and I talked to my mom. I made sure that, I was sure enough to do this. And even then, it's like, I don't believe in absolutes. So, me being 100%, I'm not even fucking sure if I'm going to go home tonight or not. I don't think that I've absolutely been certain about anything. Maybe that's because I'm a Libra. I don't know if that's got anything to do with it. But I have a hard time believing in absolutes, and I'm not saying that they don't exist, but they're very, very rare, and I don't think in a situation like this that I could be absolutely certain. But I know I want it way more than I want anything else. And again, it's like, the idea of happily ever after, I dig a hell of a lot more than any kind of life without her or anything like that. So, I mean, great. It's telling me it needs oil and filter, but it's a rental, so it's not my fucking problem. So it's 6:07, sun is setting, and I am still driving. I think I may end up saying fuck it and just driving through the night and just keep on going down the coast and filming at night, and hopefully being able to pick up something on my GoPro and just not spending the money on a hotel. I'm feeling fine. I probably need to pull over and eat something at some point, but I mean, honestly, you know, despite the fact that I've been driving pretty much nonstop for 11 hours, I'm feeling pretty fucking good. I mean, this trip has been exactly what I needed for my head. In a lot of ways, it's exceeded expectations. I'm really, really happy with what happened yesterday with my buddy and squashing our bullshit. You know, and one of the things that I gotta say about, you know, real friendship, and is this so fucking cliche, but seriously, one of the ways you know a real friend is if you haven't spoken to somebody in years, and you get back together and it's like no time has passed. And in this particular case, yeah, the last couple of times he saw me, I was not in a good space at all. I was definitely a liability, to say the very least. And before we said anything, I apologize for that shit, because I understand, whatever, why he needed to put up distance with me for, you know, his own sake, his own, peace of mind, his own stability, shit like that. I was a liability, and I respect that, and I own that shit, and I, you know, tried to make sure that he understood that, and he did, and he also acknowledged the fact that, yeah, he was kind of an asshole. And I've known this dude for nearly 18, 19 years, something like that, and we are very, very, very different people. In fact, I mean, it's shocking, but yet we've teamed up and done some really cool shit together. Not just, you know, for ourselves, had some, you know, fun adventures, but we've also helped out some other people. And you would never expect a dude like him and a dude like me to be friends. And I love the guy to death. And I mean, I honestly, yesterday I was kind of concerned that, you know, he was furious at me and that I was going to get some sort of bullshit lecture and him telling me I was a fucking loser. I mean, which sadly would have been warranted in a lot of respects, but he didn't. You know, as soon as I apologized for my bullshit, he was actually surprised to hear it, and he instantly apologized for his bullshit as well. And then we hung out by his truck and had a smoke, briefly caught up. He's working more than I am, and, you know, got a life, but it was good to see him even for the fucking 10 minutes that I was able to see him, and the peace of mind of, like, knowing that he's not pissed off at me, that, you know, life happens like that. And, you know, like I said, he's one of my oldest, dearest friends. So, you know, not only was I able to get my stuff, because you have to understand, he's in a position where he's literally the only person that I can think of that is solid enough to leave my dad's ashes with, and me not worry about something happening or them getting, you know, anything like that. And nah, man, he came in clutch and, you know, looked after me, and he's, you know, had my stuff in storage now for almost 7 years. So hats off to him for being cool enough, even though, yeah, it was an absolute hassle to get in touch with him. Not even sure up until fucking Saturday night that I was even going to do this trip. And I'm glad everything worked out. You know, but like I said, more importantly, I'm just glad that I got my little bullshit beef with him squashed and everything's on the up and up. So, but yeah, I think I'm going to continue to drive through the night. Because like I said, I don't really see the fucking point in stopping and staying in a hotel and then having a rush tomorrow. I just, go the fuck home tonight, take the Golden Gate Bridge at night, it'll be fun. We'll see.
It's about, I guess, 10:30. First time I've stopped in like 300 something miles. I've been on the road for 15 hours today, and I'm really not even tired. I actually feel great. I'm about 100 plus miles from San Francisco. I'm going to finish the trip tonight. Hopefully get some good footage going across the Golden Gate Bridge. Yeah, this has been an amazing fucking trip. Wasn't exactly what I expected, but yeah, it's been a good trip. It's